So I decided to do another photography question and answer, and one of the most important questions, I think really interesting ones, I'm going to tackle first. So let's jump right into it. Let's just do it. Let's go hard into it right now. So one of the first questions I got, and this is why I put it first because I think it's essential, is what is the hardest part about photography? Is it about lenses? Is it about what to shoot? Is it about mentality? What's it about? To me, it's actually being able to turn off photography, to turn off creativity at times. Now, I'm not saying that you should never be creative or, being creative and always thinking about something is a bad thing, but there's times to where I just want to shut it the hell off. Even just outside right now, it's a nice day out, but I'm thinking, well, obviously I'm filming this video, but I'm thinking, wow, how can that rim light look? How can that soft light really work? Diffuse shadows. I'm under a tree right now. Or if I'm just out in general public, I'm always thinking photography. I'm always thinking some kind of lighting, and it's just really hard to shut off. And once in a while, you just want to be able to sit back and enjoy something. So I think that is one of the hardest things in photography, is being able to turn it off at times when you really should just relax. But it is tough. What gear do I bring for wedding photography, and how does all that work? The reason I answered this gear question is because it is kind of important, so you kind of know what package to put together, because photography isn't all just about gear and everything, but it is essential. I'd say you got to go into wedding photography with at least 2 bodies for main reasons. One, for backup, and 2, so you can dual shoot. So that way I can have my 70-200 on the one side and my 24-70 on the other side. So if you want to invest in a dual strap or something like that, that can really work. A set of flashes, because inside in the reception, everything like that, you're going to need bulb to brighten it up, so that way you can have control over the lighting and the ambient light in the room. Other things you could bring, monopods if you really need some kind of a slower shutter speed, especially if you're in a church and the priest, whoever's ordaining this, if they don't allow flash or anything like that, and you hope, and that's usually not the case, but that could be something that you can use as well. Backup batteries, a ton of batteries, because you're going to go through the day. You're not going to have time to run around and charge and do everything like that. So I basically have 3 batteries with me at all times, but within my D700, my D600, those batteries last a long time anyway. And also, so those are the bodies, that's the flashes, that's the lighting. One thing I'll also include is driving by without lenses. I'll have my 24-70 to cover mostly everything, my 70-200 to pick off candids, to do just a lot of the stuff when they're at the altar or something like that. And I'll have my 60mm 2.8 macro to do the macro shots of the rings and details and everything like that. So that's what I think is pretty essential in regards to wedding gear. How do you work on a low budget a client is offering, even though it doesn't meet your price? Well, 2 things. Either you don't take the job and you don't get the money because it's not your asking price, or you take the job to make some money, so that way you could pay a little bit extra bills this month or anything like that. So say you're asking $2,000-$3,000 for a wedding on on the lower end, but they can only afford $1,500 or $1,200. Is that money that you can just toss aside, even if it's just one Sunday a weekend, and if that's your only one for the time? To me personally, once in a while, I'll just do it. I mean, I'd rather have $1,000 or $1,500 over nothing. That's not necessarily selling yourself short. Don't believe that, because that's just how it is. You're not making a ton of money right now in wedding photography. You can make lucrative amounts if you're in better markets, but it's just how it is. I'd rather have something than nothing at times, because I mean, $1,500 isn't anything to snicker about. So I think that's how you can work with them. Or you can work out some kind of deal with in regards to prints and albums and all that kind of stuff, and maybe make it up on the back end. Lastly but not leastly, what holds more weight? Is it your lens or is it lighting? Well, a common answer you'll probably hear is it's lens. Well, obviously, if you get a great quality lens, it's going to last a while, the 24-70 on either side, or anything like that, because the glass is amazing. It's fast. It's a 2.8. You could shoot in lower lighting. It's sharp. It's one of the sharpest in, the Canon, Sigma, Nikon line, or anything like that. But in all reality, photography is about lighting. There is no definition in photography. What does photography mean? It even has light in the actual definition of the word, the meaning. You can have, and once again, I obviously do believe in full gear, in professional gear, because it's really worth it. It's a great investment if you're shooting professionally. But if you're shooting and, you can't spend $3,000 on a body, $1,500 on a lens. Lighting can be really, really essential. Even just in regards to Kino flows or simple, $200 constant lights or anything like that. you can actually make someone look great in regards to just using crisp, clear lighting. Strobes, off-camera flash can actually produce a very, very sharp shot, even if you're just using an 18 to 55, because even if you know this, lenses all have sweet spots to where they shoot to where everything is perfect, that it's the sharpest it can be. And actually the 18 to 55 on the Canon, the Nikon side, it's actually a really sharp lens at like f8 or f5.6 to f8, because that's just how it works. So I believe it's about lighting, holds more weight than lenses, but don't get me wrong, if you get a great lens, and mix in lighting, and bam, you're set. So that's all I got. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. There's a quick kind of question and answer that revolved around a lot of things. I said I liked the first question about, you know, what's one of the hardest things in photography, and especially the last thing about light. So what's your guys' thoughts down below? If you guys have any questions that you want in the future, put them down in the comments and I'll do that. Everyone, have a good one.